few months back on Sorare, or it might even be a few weeks back, I'm not too sure now, but what we did was we built a huge variety of limited squads for different budgets, looked at how they got on over the course of a few weeks, looked at what rewards they would have got, what profit they would have got, everything along them lines. Now obviously, before we even get into this video needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. It is not going to be like this for every single squad you build. Some of these players may have got injuries, some of them may have started to get dropped. Anything can happen. It's not going to be guaranteed every single week. I also, at the start of these, also chose each one of the team's captains that I wanted to be throughout these 2 weeks. We've only got 1 week's worth of actual results for threshold values and such. We've got 2 weeks of price to look at. I've also kept note of all the players, and what we'll do, similarly to what we did with the limited cards a few weeks ago, is we will come back, check in on these in maybe a month or two's time and check their value. One thing I was cautious to do this time round was build a squad that was focusing around the Asian leagues or the MLS, or a league that is going to be going on for a long time now, so hopefully their price doesn't just plummet over the course of the next few weeks like the European cards will. But we've still got a good selection of teams to go through here. So if you like Sorare content, hit the subscribe button down below. We have videos come out every single Wednesday. If you've got any ideas for videos you want to see surrounding Sorare, please do let me know. I've got quite a few ideas already, but I'm always looking for more. So let's get into this. So to start with, we have the £250 team. Now hopefully you can see this okay in this screen. I don't know where I'm going to put myself on this, but you can see we have our defender, our midfielder, our forward, and our midfielder again. You can see who's going to be our captain. It's going to be that initial midfielder we've got over here, or this initial defender I should say. You can see what the floor price was for all of these players and their recent starting odds, how often they've played, everything along them lines. Now, this squad is worth £250, or if we look to the right a little bit here, you can see their recent average price was actually £204. When I went and did more in-depth research into these players, the total cost of this squad ended up being around £202. So the fact that this squad was that cheap should hopefully let you guys know that I would not be expecting to get the threshold from this. When you're building a rare squad of this value, you would mainly be looking to get players who will hopefully go on to be worth more in the future, who you can then resell and then reinvest and then build your threshold team as you keep going. But some of these players have been bringing in greater scores. You got to look at Ryan Babel. He hasn't brought in incredible scores, but he is well known and might be able to build on that. Thiago Santos is someone whose league isn't yet starting, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to get him put in and then watch his price grow as the football season kicks off. But ultimately here, I think I've just learnt my first mistake. I've been researching other players I can buy for my own squads, and I've just remembered that Thiago Santos is actually from Grêmio. Now, as someone who doesn't have much knowledge of Brazilian football, I thought Grêmio was a top club. Turns out they got relegated last year, so he isn't even a card we can use at the moment. So I've got a feeling his price is actually going to drop. So again, like I said at the start of this video, take it with a pinch of salt. I didn't do in-depth research in these squads. I just looked at the squad builder, did about half an hour on each team and thought, who would I buy if I was presented this opportunity? And already there, we've got one player who I probably would have swapped out. Makes sense why he was cheap now with them scores, them playing statuses as a rare card. So, my mistake already initially off the bat there, but you never know, in a few months, maybe his price goes up. If Grêmio are looking like they're going to be going up, maybe everything will work out okay, but maybe just ignore him in the £250 squad. But the £250 squad, like I said, should just be about building a squad with players whose values will go up, who you can then resell for profit. Moving on, this squad itself was meant to be the £500 budget squad, will actually cost £440 if we were to have bought it at the time. You can see our captain's going to be our extra player or our midfielder, but you can see down here again, this one is now looking more into getting that threshold. We've got a defender who plays fairly regularly when fit, but occasionally gets injured, but still young, MLS season just about to start. We've got a midfielder who again plays fairly regularly, brings in good ratings, nice to see. You're never going to be able to get someone who plays full on consistently with this sort of budget if you want to be hitting the threshold, so you might have to take some risks when it comes to it. We then have Joe over here, who is in the Brazilian leagues again. This squad didn't get relegated, thankfully, but again, he won't be getting some points for the first few weeks. And then we have Park So Ill, who has got a good score over the last 15, but not last 5. So maybe someone who's just a bit out of form, but does tend to play quite often. So that's someone I was quite optimistic about. You should also know for the first 2 of these squads, or maybe even 3, the goalkeeper we selected was a common keeper from our squad. I'll tell you more about him in a second, but it should be noted that obviously common keepers will not be allowed as of August onwards. But I started planning this video before that was announced, so I'm not including that in this. Moving on, this squad was meant to be £1,000, but actually ended up being 1,020. But you can see this one is a very nice, reliable squad. We've got a defender who plays pretty much confidently all the time and is quite young and at a good team of the J League. Similarly with this midfielder and with this midfielder over here, who would be our captain. Our forward doesn't play too often, but good luck finding a forward who's cheap, who's rare and good. It's never going to happen, but you can see there the squad looks fairly nice. And again, this one will be using a common goalkeeper, but hopefully it would still be hitting the threshold. Next up, we have a £3,000 team. You can see this straight off the bat. Everyone in this instance should be playing. Now, when I did all my players, I then came back for my forward to see how much of a budget I had left. And you can see I didn't have much of a budget, but this guy seems to be playing fairly consistently at the moment and looks to be getting some good returns. So if you can keep that up, his price will skyrocket throughout the season. But as you can see, 3,000, it would get you some rewards. All the other ones I don't believe would get you any rewards. Let's just go check. So you can see there, none of these would have got you a reward, but this one is the first one that would have. It's a £3,000 team, so you'd hope so. And then moving on to a team that I thought I'd do where it was max budget, no budget applied, and this team, as you can see here, everyone just constantly plays, everyone gets good scores, but this team does cost an absolute fortune. So let's get in the results of how these teams have got on. We'll see if any of them hit the threshold, and we'll see how their price changed over the course of the first week. So the first week was actually a midweek round of fixtures where not very many of them played. You can see here the £1,000 team that I did build specifically for that week had one player not play, and it was the captain, so it wasn't ideal, but we were close to the threshold on that one. But you can see based on the prices of the players over here, we would have made a profit on the £250 one already there. I'd probably say Ryan Babel would have been sold, £10 profit, get him sold, get him someone else bought. And additionally, I'll probably also, looking into it, would have realised Thiago Santos is a Serie B club in Brazil, so probably would have sold him for that £8 loss, reinvested the money, bought someone else. But you can see here, maybe even if you could find someone who was better quality than the midfielder, sell him on for that £5 profit, get going. But you can see 3% profit there, even with an £8 loss, not too bad for a team that I didn't expect to get anything. We then have the £500 squad down here. Again, none of these played, but looking at the returns, you can see we would have got a £30 profit on Joe as his league's beginning to start up, already getting a profit looking at there. And you can see, even without having any players play that week, 11% return on our £500 investment if we were to resell everyone. So that's quite a nice little thing to see. £1,000 squad down here, down 6%. Someone down here I got minus £44. Down here, profit again. Not much, but profit. Most of it coming from Iniesta, but still profit, which is always nice to see. And you can also see the big God squad. Now, when we did this with the limited, the price was so volatile with the God squad. It just dropped and then rose after a good performance and then dropped again massively. But with this one, it looks to be a bit more secure. Yes, this guy lost £240. But again, with rares, when a player plays to his peak, their price shoots up. And you'll see that when we get to the second week here of results. So you can see the most of them we would have done okay. Just 2 we would have lost money on. And it's the 1,000 and the unlimited squad. But looking into week 2, you can see that quite a lot of players have now started to play. The £250 squad one, not very many played, and you can see we're starting to lose money on this now. But Ryan Babel's profit has gone up drastically because of that performance. You can see this guy's now only a minus £3 loss, so it'll be perfect to try and sell off now. And this guy, although he doesn't start, has somehow gone up in profit. So already there you've got £22 worth of profit. Sell them on, reinvest in the squad, you're already now looking at close to a £250, £260 squad. Keep rebuilding. Yes, you're 1% down, but 1%'s nothing. We then have the £500 squad, where as you can see, didn't hit the threshold, we're just like one player off, but Joe's league doesn't yet start, so hopefully when he starts in his league, that will become a lot more helpful and push us onto the threshold. In terms of the prices of the players, Joe's price yet again, still sat at that nice £30 profit. We've got Park So Ill sat at £21 profit. These two sat at a bit of a loss, but in general, still around that 8% profit mark, which is quite nice to see. £1,000 squad on the other hand, did hit the threshold, but even with the threshold added in, was at a loss. And that's because of some huge movements to these players down here. That might be an injury, just poor performances. We'll find out over the next few weeks with him. But only 4% down, not too bad at all. And already one threshold return, so a nice £25, £26 profit there. We then look at the £3,000 squad, which got us the most amount of points, as you can see down here. It got us 313, which was enough to finish 1,120th. Not enough to get a reward, but definitely close. And you can see, because of the announcement about keepers, that we had a big increase in price there. So if I were you, I'd probably disregard that one, because that was just a result of what's happening with the game, not because of the player itself. But even taking that out, we got a £51 return from the threshold, because we got the second threshold, and then we've also got some nice returns from our players as well. £50 down on Tate Schmidt. That's because his performances have dropped off a little bit as I'm looking over here, but still nothing too much to worry about. He's still quite young. And then with the final God squad, you can see profit gone down just a little bit again, but some of the players, you can see with this midfielder, any sort of player, whenever they do a little bit better, their price drastically increases. So you might have been willing to sell him and reinvest, but then again, if you're doing the God squad, probably not. But any of these are the ones there's been opportunities to reinvest. So taking a look at this in comparison to the limited squads we did a few weeks ago, you can see that the rare prices are a lot more secure, but that will obviously be dependent on injuries, performances and everything along them lines. So it's not going to be guaranteed you won't lose your money with rares, but it is a lot more guaranteed again. It's a lot more secure than the limiteds. The limits are a lot more volatile in price, and we've also had more of a return instantly because of that guaranteed £26 from the £1,000 squad, the guaranteed £50 from the £3,000 squad. It's all helping little by little. You're already getting money back there that you can reinvest and reinvest. So it is a lot more beneficial in my eyes to do a threshold team. Even with the goalkeeper situation at the moment, it's still beneficial to do a rare team and a threshold team. But as I said with the limited squads we had the other week, I've got photos like this of all the squads available. So what we'll do is I'll come back in maybe a month or two, same time as when we look to catch up on the limited squad. Maybe we'll do them both in the same video, because it hopefully won't take too long to do quick updates on it. But we'll come back, do some quick updates, look into the prices of the players, see if any rewards were met, see how many thresholds were hit, everything along them lines in the next few months. We'll also look back in maybe September time as the European leagues start back up again and see how do the MLS and Asian League cards prices drop around about that time, how much of a difference is it, and how much do the in-season cards that we had from the limited leagues go up in price. So it's definitely going to be something worth sticking around for. Please do hit the subscribe button if you're new. Let me know down below in the comments what other videos you want to see on Sorare. Next week will just be a general catch up on our results and the state of our squad. So if you're looking forward to that, be sure to stick around for it. Let me know how you're getting on down below, and let me know what you think about the prices of the players, where you'd look to go, everything along them lines. I'm always open to chat Sorare with anyone. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.